William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I welcome you to another Two Hats special of community events. Let's look in and see what's really happening.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lambda Weekly. I'm Dave Taffet here in the studio with the late Patti Fink. Laurent has the weekend off. Our guests today are Leslie McMurry and Katie Sprinkle. They woke up today and decided to dress as women and come into the studio. They stopped off to use some public restrooms before coming to the studio. And after the show, they're planning on going into the military and completely destroying the military budget by demanding health care. Katie, Leslie, how do you have enough time in your lives to terrorize the population like you do?
It's a chore. You got to work at it, but you got to be motivated like our president.
Mm-hmm. And Leslie's just sitting, shaking her head, going, "Okay, David,
why did I do this?
Why did I wake up today?
Why did we sign up for this?"
Yeah. No, it's with all seriousness, though.
You mean all seriousness aside?
We've been on this show, I don't know, half a dozen times anyway, and it seems like we come in and we talk about the same thing each time. And it's not that it's not necessary, it's just unfortunate, and I just wish we didn't have to.
Actually, we have something new: trans in the military. We've never discussed that before. It hasn't been an issue lately.
And it hasn't been proffered by Dan Patrick. That's new.
Oh, mm-hmm.
No, that's true.
Yeah, usually the big idiot's kept his mouth closed enough that the little idiot's doing all of his work. So I guess that makes Dan Patrick mini-me now.
So
sort of. He's but speaking of Dan Patrick,
we're gonna start calling him PP Dan from now on. By the way, that's his new name.
It's his obsession.
PP Dan Gobes.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't understand how any of these senators, which is 2/3 of the Senate, what their obsession is with where people go to the bathroom. I think one of the reasons we haven't been more successful in fighting it is we don't understand what it is that they want.
It's
They want to
fear-mongering.
discriminate.
They're spreading fear. If you look at the things that the Republicans have been spouting for the last, the last several years anyway, we should be afraid of North Korea, we should be afraid of transgender people, we should be afraid of gay people, we should be afraid of transgender people serving in the military because it's going to destroy our military and unit cohesion and all this. It's just a bunch of fear-mongering is what it is. And, I understand we can make fun and make light of Donald Trump and all this nonsense, but the fact remains what's going on in the Texas State House now is they're considering that the Senate has passed this ridiculous thing, SB 3, which is this transgender discrimination bill, and Greg Abbott has been public in saying this isn't about transgender people, yet his own tweet that he sent out from his official Twitter account had the little checklist of things that have been checked off in the Senate, and it says transgender bathroom bill. Mm-hmm. So apparently it is about transgender people, and there's no denying it anyway. But I've been talking to and hearing from enough parents of scared children who just fear for their children about whether they're going to grow up in a hostile world. And just imagine your child being transgender and thinking about, what kind of future they have. And you hear this jackass comedian on some radio station in New York, a show called The Breakfast Club, and they were asking him after Janet Mock was on, they held up her picture and they said, well, how would you feel if you were dating a woman and you guys had been together and you learned that she was transgender? He said that she would be dead. He would kill her.
Oh my
and
God.
when they say things like that out loud on a radio station, it has an audience of over 2 million people. That's where the danger comes in, because there are people with a very low intelligence level that think, oh, okay, now it's open season on transgender people, and we are killed when people find out that we're transgender.
Well, 2 days later, a transgender woman in Atlanta was killed.
Yeah.
And
what is that number, 16 this year? So yeah, that's why it's deadly serious. When you talk about the bathroom bill, just on the, I don't mean to be going off on a rant here, but the very first thing is when they talk about privacy and safety in a bathroom, great, we're all in favor of that. As a matter of fact, Texas has had a law in place for an awful long time that says if you cause a disturbance in a bathroom, that's a crime. Assaulting someone is already a crime. Aggravated sexual assault of a child will get you life in prison. So all those things are already crimes. So what is it we're actually trying to solve with this kind of law?
Well, their explanation is, well, and this is where, of course, this nonsense of your introduction came from, that a man will, or these transgender people, just wake up in the morning and decide whether to dress as a woman and go to bathrooms to assault children. It doesn't matter that that's never happened.
And it's already illegal.
And it's already illegal.
It's already illegal.
And
So I don't think we need a new law to keep somebody out. It's kind of like the gun laws. They make me laugh because they'll say, oh, you can't have a gun on university grounds. Well, do you think the guy that went to Virginia Tech and murdered 33 people is worried about the gun crime? Mm-hmm. Did that dissuade him? No. He's willing to commit mass murder, so he's not really worried about the extra 10 months in jail that he'd get for having an illegal firearm.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's really that scenario that they're concerned about, though, David. I think it's any guy, any heterosexual cisgender guy will pose as a transgender woman by donning women's clothing and entering a bathroom.
Except they're not, and it doesn't happen.
It's never
exactly.
happened.
Well, exactly, but this is what they're proposing.
They're only proposing that so that they can say, oh, we're not discriminating against transgender
That's
people.
that's my
Well,
point.
there was an article in I believe it was the Texas Tribune, and they were talking about sort of what some of the motivations behind this nonsense is, and a lot of it has to do with one of the more powerful conservative lobbies in this state is that conservative Republicans of Texas, that Stephen Hotze crackpot.
Total crackpot.
And he pumps a lot of money into Dan Patrick's coffers. He's put money into Greg Abbott's coffers. And so he has their ear. And when you look at poll numbers, when you look at particularly Tea Party voters who make up a very large percentage in Republican primaries, they think this is a huge issue.
But only 26% of them do. 26% of Republican primary voters in this state support this bill.
Well, this is where it gets a little bit silly, and I've pointed this out on a number of occasions, and I use an analogy to take some of the emotion out of it. But when they talk about things like saying that this is likely or this is a problem, or they take poll numbers, and the poll is asked, well, do you think we should pass legislation to keep men out of women's bathrooms? Well, yeah, most people are, that's kind of a common sense thing. It's not a problem, but yeah, I would agree with that's probably a good thing because women belong in a women's room and men belong in a men's room. That's fine. But if you took poll numbers and you asked around a statewide poll and said, do you think it's a good idea for dogs to drive cars? Most people would say no, because they're terrible drivers and they shouldn't be issued driver's licenses. And I think it'd be really dangerous. They'd probably run over our kids. They'd be, lifting themselves.
Certainly run over cats.
They'd be run over. Yeah, there'd be a terrible cat reduction in population. So yeah, I would definitely get behind legislation to keep dogs from driving cars. Well, is that a problem anywhere? Are there dogs driving out there on 75? I didn't see any on the way over. So I don't think it's a problem that needs to be addressed.
But maybe we should address it.
Maybe we should.
Well, because cats are going to start dressing up like dogs to drive cars.
To drive cars, yeah.
Then you have trans species, and that's a problem. It is Pledge Drive. We forgot to mention that.
Yeah, send money and we'll talk about something else.
The only one we're going to see is in a Subaru, though.
Yeah,
that's true.
The dog family.
It is Pledge Drive this week. Our number is 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Do you know what else today is?
It's your anniversary.
It's our 34th anniversary of Lambda Weekly.
That's right.
And it's the station's anniversary.
Wow, and there's no cake.
And there is no cake. I'm sorry, I didn't think about it.
I checked the green room twice.
she keeps going into the green room and saying, "Where's the cake? Where's the cake?"
I found a random mint and took it. Sorry, I didn't share it.
Because this is KNON, and we do have to buy our own cakes. For Pledge Drive this summer, we have some special pledge premiums. For a $50 pledge, we have a black Western short sleeve shirt with pearl snap buttons. That's for a $125 pledge. We have and it's the one that's over there with the Texas flag on the back. Dickies black and red short sleeve button-up shirt, work shirt with a large KNON VOP design, voice of the people, design on the back, and logo, KNON logo in white on the right pie. It's a $100 pledge, medium to 3X. Here's one that I like, and these are all just special pledge
Patti
premiums.
just ate the premium for the $20 pledge.
I did.
It was that mint.
That
Yeah.
mint.
That meant. No,
darn it.
but we have a BPA-free flip-out Sport 24-ounce water bottle, clear bottle with the black KNON logo for a $40 pledge. I like that because I hate when I have to pay for my BPA. This is BPA-free.
Yeah, you're so right.
And here's the other one. I have no idea what it means. A black Skyway Bluetooth comfortable headphones with the white KNON logo on both sides. Listen to your favorite music or talk show on any Wi-Fi device.
Wi-Fi.
A Wi-Fi device. That's what it says, a Wi-Fi device. Like your phone, iPad, laptop, or on your ETC, etc.
Oh,
ETC. Up to 6 hours on a single charge from up to 33 feet away. It also comes with a USB charging cable and a 3.5 millimeter auxiliary cable, allowing you to plug into your device for a $75 pledge. And I'm glad we have the board we do, because I have no idea what I just read. None. Not a clue.
But it was terrific how you said that. It was fantastic. It was the best. Ask anybody.
Thank you, President Trump. It's just like that station, SYFY SIFI. Right?
yeah.
Yeah. Swiffy.
Anyway, give us a call, 972-647-1893. And it is our 34th birthday today, so give us a birthday present at 972-647-1893. Give us a call. Operators are standing by right here in the station.
That's
Unlike
right.
that other station that asks you to pledge, where operators are standing by somewhere else, in a call center somewhere. But we care about your calls, so we want you to call right here to the studio.
You know, in fact, if you were to pledge $34, for our 34th anniversary here on KNON as Lambda Weekly, I would match every $34 pledge that came in.
So it'll count as a $68 pledge. Or something
And if we
like
have
that,
more
a
than that, I'll do
$67
those
pledge.
too. I'll match those too.
Dang.
So, give us a call, 972-647-1893.
So we have a matching challenge.
We do.
972-647-1893. Give us a call. Josh's and Chris's are standing by. One thing that we do have to give away, State Fair of Texas tickets. State Fair
Texas.
runs from September 29th to October 22nd. Do you know where it is this year?
Fair Park.
That's where it is. And on the Chevrolet main stage, appearing throughout the fair, or different times during the fair, Peterson Brothers, Charlie Daniels Band, Brave Combo, Pat Green, La Mafia, A Night of Gospel and Inspiration, Israel Houghton and New Breed, Wilson Phillips is going to be there, Los Traileros del Norte. Did I pronounce that right?
How would President Trump
You
pronounce
think
that? I'm sure.
Sgt. Pepper's Bluegrass Band. Go to bigtex.com for a schedule of all events. Now, you can get a pair of tickets for the fair for a $30 pledge, and a $60 pledge gets you a pair of tickets and a T-shirt. A KNON
pretty good deal.
T-shirt, not a Big Tex T-shirt, a KNON T-shirt. So a $30 pledge gets you a pair of tickets, a $60 pledge gets you a pair of tickets and a T-shirt. 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893.
That's 972-647-1893.
No, it isn't. It's 972-647-1893.
Yes, it is. 972-647-1893.
No, it isn't. It's 972-647-1893. You're confusing our listeners.
Backwards, it's 398-1746279.
There we go.
I mean, you think.
And to answer Patty's question about the correct pronunciation, it's pronounced bad hombre.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that band. That's. I think.
I
Trump
can
held
no
that.
longer hear the word fantastic without slipping into my Trump impression. It happens all the time now.
Have you mastered disaster?
Well, you know what I have to say about that? Sad.
Very sad. Hey, but you gotta get entertainment where you can find it.
And as we did on the Jewish Music Hour, you can give us a call to make your pledge at 972 647 1893.
That's easy for you to say.
Because where else, what other station brings you such diverse programming? It's the only station that announces their number in Hebrew. 972-647-1893 is our number in English. That's 972-647-1893. Our guests today are...
Itchy and scratchy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Katie and Leslie, who've been on with us before. They're back to talk about trans issues, and I'm glad you're here. Usually you're like our third week of pledge drive, if we have a third week of pledge. And I'm glad you're here this week, because we have how many more days of this legislative nonsense?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Like 8 more days? Or,
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Just
so we have
just
this
over a
week and the
week.
beginning of the next.
Of course, if Dan Patrick sees his shadow, it means 6 more weeks of special session.
Oh, heaven help us.
I was talking to Eric Johnson, and he said he doesn't think that Abbott will have the nerve to call a second special session, just because they are so expensive, and because
They cost almost as much as a year of transgender health care in the military.
At least.
well, 2 special sessions would cost that much,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. So
It's just ridiculous that the main thing that they were called for was the bathroom bill, and it's the one thing. It seems to be stuck in committee. However, that's another phone call that you could make if you would like to voice your opinion on it.
I've been irritating them. As a matter of fact, it was kind of fun. I was on a Facebook Live thing with CBS 11, and Representative Scott Sanford was there from McKinney. And we were having absolutely a great time with him, because I was real-time fact-checking him, because he's just spewing out all these lies and baloney and stuff. And so afterwards, I started sending him verification of what I was saying that was fact from things that were researched. I sent him about 3, and he ended up blocking me on Twitter. And then there came a federal
facts don't
ruling
matter.
in the last couple of weeks. There's a federal ruling from a judge that said representatives may not, under penalty of law, block their constituents on social media.
A senator from Wisconsin tried to do that.
So I sent him a note to his office in Austin, asking him to unblock me, or else I would have to file legal action.
But that's what all you were doing. You were sending him facts. This is why this debate is so pointless, and our heads are exploding, because facts don't matter in it.
No.
It doesn't matter that these things have never happened,
But
and
it's
it's as important to.
We now
But it's
live.
important to rebut these lies. though.
Yeah, we now live in an animal farm, literally, because all animals are created equal, but in the Republican eyes, some are more equal than others, and those are the only ones they're listening to. And
we need to take a break.
And after the break, we'll talk about the Republican strategy, because they've sort of floated some things this
They
week.
have a strategy?
Sorta.
it's fantastic. Just
And-
wait till you see it; it'll be the best.
Give us a call. It is Pledge Drive, 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. We'll be back with Leslie and Katie and the late Patti right after this.
This is Rollins Gilliland, and I'm listening to Lambda Weekly on 89.3, and darn glad to be doing it.
And welcome back to Lambda Weekly. I'm Dave Taffet here in the studio with the late Patti Fink. Our guests today are Leslie and Katie. They are, how should I describe you, transgender activists?
Sure, why not? That
Transgender
sounds really good.
Pains in the ass?
Yeah. Transgender
like-
rabble rousers.
We like pains in the ass like you.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you.
one of you does.
Rabble rousers?
Rebel rousers.
We were talking about what's going on in Austin. What's going on in Washington mirrors this. So in Austin, it's the bathroom bill, but in Washington, a non-issue became an issue a couple of weeks ago when Trump issued an executive tweet. Is that what we call them? It has no
meaningless.
It's meaningless. It has no force of law, but it shows. Do you think he was throwing out a trial balloon about, or
No.
not really? He was just speaking from the hip.
Because I think you have to think things through a little bit in order to make it a trial balloon.
Right.
And I don't think he does. I think it's a knee-jerk. Somebody on Fox and Friends probably mentioned it, and you go, "Oh, that sounds terrific. I'm going to do that," and then he just texted it out.
I heard that he was pressured to contain costs. It was part of some kind of
It's the defense authorization
defense
bill.
authorization bill, and they were complaining about healthcare costs, and so he just blurted that out without really thinking about it, without talking to the Joint Chiefs.
And they actually said, no, we're
Yeah.
not going to do that until you
Ash
do it
Carter
properly.
under Clinton or under Obama had done about a year and a half's worth of investigation into unit cohesion and costs and everything else. So they had a pretty good idea of what things were going to cost and whether there was any effect, and they found that the effect on unit cohesion was zero. As a matter of fact, it really boils down to discipline. If you have strong leadership, then you have unit cohesion. If you don't have strong leadership, it doesn't matter who's in your troop. You could have Jewish people and Muslim people in the same collection of troops. If you have strong leadership, it's not going to be an issue. You don't have to necessarily agree with the people that you're with in order to fight together. As a matter of fact, I think diversity of opinions is good everywhere, whether it's in the military or whether it's in an office complex. So the whole argument that unit cohesion would be affected or readiness would be affected is a fallacy. Transgender troops have been serving all along. There was a really compelling picture I saw of a graveyard that happened to be in San Francisco, a military graveyard, and it said, "Spot the transgender soldiers. They're out there, and they're all equal in that graveyard. They're all equal out on the battlefield."
Do you know the thing that really surprised me with all this that came out over the last few weeks is not that there are transgender troops, but they're estimating there could be as many as 15,000.
15,000, yeah.
Active today.
Active today.
But a lot
That
of
just
them are forced
surprised
into
me
the
that there are that
closet. The
many.
number is actually a lot smaller. It's like 2,500 that we know of, but it could be as high as 15,000 because, again, you have people that they're serving in the military, but they're scared to death to be themselves. Wouldn't you think that it would actually improve things if people could be who they are? Isn't that like something that would be good no matter in what business you're in?
This is exactly the argument we were making during the whole Don't Ask, Don't Tell repeal effort,
Yeah.
which was successful. When they say, oh, well, you should just keep that to yourself. Well, the energy you expend in hiding, which goes against all military code and policy,
Right.
of basically lying to everyone around you. We want you to lie. That was what Don't Ask, Don't Tell said. We want you to lie. We expect you to lie.
Do you know what's surprising, though, is the number of Republican senators who have come out with statements like
Orrin Hatch.
Orrin Hatch, who also said, Orrin Hatch. Do you remember during
Grassley.
Don't Ask, Don't Tell? Do you remember Orrin Hatch coming out on the side of gay troops? Yeah, neither do I. But he came out with a statement that said, "I don't think anybody should be discriminated against."
Again, it's
Where
just
did
a
that come
non-issue.
from?
And then the issue about health care, it's offensive to me that anyone would describe health care for a soldier as being free. It's a benefit. It is something that's owed to each and every soldier for putting their life on the line for the U.S. government.
You know, we
It's
were
just
talking
part
about
of
this
taking
before the
care of
show.
a soldier. And then to say, oh, well, it's going to be $5 million. They spend 5 to 7 times that much on Viagra for soldiers.
$84 million a year.
First of all, I want to know who are all these impotent soldiers and why. And second of all,
When they tell them to stand up straight, that's not what they mean.
Well,
apparently.
as a woman, this is really bugging me too. They're giving $84 million worth of Viagra,
Why?
and yet there's an enormous sexual assault problem
Yeah, well,
in the military, where women serving who are not on Viagra are being sexually assaulted by their peers.
and then making the assumption that every transgender soldier wants transition-related surgery, which is nonsense because not every person does. They should just
The
be
military
treated
is not making
like
that
any
assumption at
other
all.
Human being.
Yeah. The military is not
No,
making
they're
that
not.
assumption.
And did you see all the Republicans like Orrin Hatch dial it back and distance themselves from Trump? They said, we didn't even ask for this.
Right.
This is so
No.
wrong. This is, there was a line item in the defense authorization bill that they wanted removed for the funding, and that was what they said they lobbied for.
Yeah, that was related to health care.
But
then
here's one thing that you said that actually it skews the whole discussion. You said healthcare in the military is a benefit. No, it's not. It's part of taking care of our troops to make sure that they're healthy and there to defend us.
Well, that's what I mean. Like healthcare is a benefit at work. Keeping your employees healthy and well cared for makes the company stronger. You don't want sick employees or people that are worried about finding health care. It's something that you do to make your company stronger. It's something you do to make your military
But in the
stronger.
military, it's no more of a benefit than providing housing for the troops. You have to house them somewhere, and if they're not home to go to their own doctor, they have to go to a doctor on the base or wherever they're stationed. It's not a benefit. It's just part of housing them. It's just part of taking care of our troops so our troops can take care of us. It's nothing more than, it's not even a benefit. It's just part of what the military is.
I think they're referring to the surgery, but again, not every soldier wants surgery. So it just should be available to those that do want it as part of serving in the military. It's just part of the deal.
And speaking of surgery, we don't want Knon to make a surgical extraction. What I mean by that is removing us as a show. Right. We need to hear from you. 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. It is Pledge Drive. It is our 34th anniversary this week. 34 years on the air. We're the oldest, longest-running LGBT talk show on the air anywhere. Knon has stood by the LGBT community through thick and thin, basically helped invent what gay and lesbian radio even was. That's something. Lambda Weekly was here before Dallas Voice was here in Dallas. Lambda Weekly was here before the internet, and so it was the only place for so many people to get there.
Remember the stories of because I can relate to this so much. So we had a listener who was attending Baylor University, my sad alma mater, who would drive up 35 to Hillsborough because it was the first place you could get the signal and pull over and listen to the show for, at that time we had a 2-hour format. Listen to the show, do some homework while listening, and then drive back to Waco. That was how much there was nothing available.
Yeah, young people today, they're so spoiled with the internet and then just the ease of access to information. But back before cell phones, before Twitter, before the internet,
back when we had maps.
Yeah,
maps in your glove compartment.
I remember when they invented maps to put in the glove compartment, because when I was learning to drive, you put your gloves in the glove compartment.
Gotcha.
Knon doesn't sell our donor list to anybody, because to do that would involve
that would require a lot of effort.
It would be a lot of organization that we just don't have here. What we use your money for is just the basics. For the rent and for the electric bill, maintaining our spot on the tower down in Cedar Hill. We're just the pure basics here at Knon, but we do all of our programming ourselves here. We're the only station in Dallas that programs itself with no interference from an outside corporate source.
You sure don't spend it on refreshments in the green room.
It's so noticeable.
Well, let's not go there, because there was a mint.
But Patti got it. Patti got it. So 972.
We all dove for it.
972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Josh is standing by, ready to take your call. And that's another thing. We care about your calls enough that we take your calls right here in the studio. We don't farm it out to somebody else. We also don't do rerun Pledge Drive shows like the other station does.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Wrong show, wrong station, wrong show.
I suddenly feel very sleepy. What's up with that?
One of the things that we have as a pledge premium, we have State Fair of Texas tickets. This is a bargain. For $30, you get a pair of tickets that admits you for a day to the State Fair for a $60 pledge. Normally a T-shirt here is $40 to get your T-shirt. For just an additional $30, a pair of tickets and a T-shirt. So for $60, a pair of tickets and a T-shirt. Give us a call, 972-647-1893. That's 647-1893.
And tickets to the fair are not cheap. If
No.
you were just buy
Hi,
a
Josh.
ticket,
I'm saying.
This
This
is
is a
Leslie.
bargain.
Would
Yeah.
you put me down for 34?
Leslie's calling in. I love when our guests have to call across the desk.
6 feet away.
Well,
I didn't want to
6 feet.
interrupt.
It's a big table.
Thank you, Josh.
We will take your place.
Okay, thank you. All right.
So thank you,
Josh is
Leslie,
very
for
nice on
pledging.
the phone. He did answer in person.
He's fantastic.
And I want to thank Ziggy from the next show who pledged to the show. He made a very nice pledge. Thank you very much,
nice.
Ziggy. And Patti is matching pledges
For $34.
For $34 from anybody who
So
calls in.
68
today.
just then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 67.
So that we
Patti
keep-
doesn't do
we
her
can
math
keep
very
our
well.
thing up on the Cedar Hill Tower for like another 9 days for that.
For $34?
No, 68.
Oh, for $68. Yeah, that
Like that's
doesn't
like
even
a
come close to an
Scaramucci.
hour.
One Scaramucci.
Yeah.
At least.
We
It
need
might
to raise.
be.
We need to raise a lot more Scaramucci's. So
Yeah.
972-647-1893. I'll bet this is the only place in Dallas where you'll hear a conversation on what's going on in Austin and Washington, quite like ours,
Very
which,
candidly.
which
Yeah.
kind of pisses off some of our listeners, but others appreciate that we're the one place where you hear the other side of the issue.
Yeah. We are equal time.
We are.
Exactly.
That's right.
972-647-1893. Give us a call. We're talking to Leslie and Katie. They come on regularly to talk about transgender issues, and boy, is it going on in Austin right now, and going on in Washington, sort of. I mean, Congress doesn't seem to have any interest in this issue.
Did you hear this great quote from Lois Kolkhorst the other day? She said
Yes.
that not one woman, not one average woman has come up to her and said that there is no need for a bathroom bill.
It's a
Not one.
non-issue.
It's a non-issue. That it's a non-issue. And,
Okay, if you're an average
so-
woman, would you walk up to her?
No, I
For
would-
any reason
I
whatsoever?
wouldn't. But the reality is that average women walked up to her for 9 hours of testimony, and by a 13-to-1 margin told her it's a non-issue, it's unnecessary, it's not needed. So I don't know how she has
just
the nerve to
lies.
say she does.
She just lies through her teeth.
okay, no.
Well,
no, listen.
No, they were across the table from her. They were not walking up to her. There's a difference.
Well, I don't see the difference.
I don't either.
But if there was some other issue before any sort of elected body or lawmaking body, and the stats came out that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people came to give their opinion and voice, and many of them from faraway places in Texas. And Texas is a big state, and many people drove for hours and hours, maybe even spent the night to make it there, to get their 2 minutes to tell these lawmakers how important this is not to pass, how stupid this bill is, and it was like they didn't even hear.
Yeah, you could
They
feel like
put earplugs in, and just tune everybody out. 13-to-1.
you could-
over 700 people showed up to express their disgust
and a lot
with
of
this
them were little
bill.
kids. You could fill a swimming pool with the tears of children, and their reaction would be, last one in's a rotten egg.
Yep.
I was talking to Ethan Avanzino this week. He's a transgender man who went
you
to
just out
testify.
Ethan?
I didn't out him, I don't think, at all. Ethan's story is, gee, I don't have much of a story. My family accepts me. My job accepts me. My church accepts me.
He's the one that was in Austin that was holding up a sign, and you got to know Ethan. I mean, he's a guy. I mean, he's got nice facial hair. I mean, he's a guy in every stretch of the imagination. If you saw him, you wouldn't think twice. And he's holding up a sign that says, "Ask me why I'm going to have to use the women's bathroom."
Well, he testified, and he just told a quick couple of sentences, and then said to the senators, I have a little bit more time. I'd like you to ask me any questions. And so one of the senators said real meekly, so on your birth certificate, you had your driver's license changed, but not your birth certificate? And Ethan said, yep. So I'll have to go into the men's room. He said, so...
Women's room.
Into the women's room. So the senator was like, oh, well, we hadn't thought about that.
They haven't thought about trans guys.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're going to have a rude awakening too.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
gonna
if they
we're
pass
gonna
this.
organize if they pass this thing, we're gonna organize acts of civil obedience, and we're gonna get a bunch of trans guys whose birth certificates still say female, and we're going to parade them into bathrooms, and we're going to call the local police and say, your legislators want you to do this, so do something. And then they're going to look at us meekly and go, we don't know what to do. Well, they didn't think about that either. Well, and the other interesting thing is that of all the people who testified in favor of this bathroom bill, they were all from these religious right organizations. They didn't call law enforcement in, because now we know how they stand on it.
Yeah.
But they didn't call any public safety experts. They didn't call any privacy experts. They only called, and the only voices they heard were those hardcore right-wing religious groups. Those were the only voices they heard.
And this is where they're going. We were just talking in the break about the Republican Party nationally has glommed on to these transgender issues because they need a scapegoat in order to win, because they have to gerrymander, they have to have the scapegoat. This is the only way the Republican Party apparently can win.
Well,
because they have no ideas. They have to skew the system in order to win, and they're gonna come after trans people in the midterms in 2018.
Because there's so many of us.
Right, but they've decided. There was actually a discussion this week that the party's going to do that.
And which county has more elected transgender people than any other county in the country? Republican Collin County. Go figure. I love that. I love that. It is Pledge Drive, 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Give us a call. One way that you can pledge is you can make a bank draft. Just call us, tell us you want to start a bank draft, give us your name, your phone number. Somebody from the office will get all the information that they need. We'd love a $1 a day pledge from you. That's $30 a month. It would be drafted automatically.
Katie could drop a will, and you could name KNON in your will.
Well, that's another thing that we can do.
Yeah, it's called
That would be
estate
awesome.
planning.
That would be awesome if somebody would like to do that. Give us a call. We'll get you to Katie.
Will?
We will get you in touch with Katie, and you can set up your trust for KNON. 972-647-1893. We still have a pair of State Fair of Texas tickets. That's $30 for a pair of tickets. $60 gets you a pair of tickets and a KNON t-shirt. Why don't we take our break? We'll be back with more Lambda Weekly right after this.
And I listen to Lambda Weekly. I hope that you will too.
And welcome back to Lambda Weekly. I'm Dave Taffet here in the studio with the late Patti Fink, and Leslie and Katie are our guests today. They're trans.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I wanted to share another little quick nugget of truth about SB 3. Is that...
Which is the bathroom bill.
Yeah, the bathroom bill, which is more the intellectual dishonesty associated with it, because they talk about wanting to protect women and children, and yet the bill is only effective in government buildings or state-owned buildings and in schools. So my question is, aren't kids, don't they need to be protected, like at the American Airlines Center or Cowboy Stadium or Chewy's or any of the thousands of other places that aren't owned by the state government or are a school?
No.
As a representative of the trans community, I can affirmatively say we use bathrooms in other buildings too, not just the government
I don't think you do.
And then also,
I think you only go to schools to pee.
there is no enforcement provision. When Katie was talking earlier about calling the police, there is no enforcement provision for those things. It's considered civil. And there was a scenario a while back, and it didn't involve a transgender person, but involved some pervert guy in a library that was bothering children in there, and they ended up blocking the door and pulling a child out. It was really horrific for the kid. But they ended up arresting this guy. Well, the guy wasn't transgender. He wasn't pretending to be transgender. He wasn't dressed as a woman. They said that he kind of looked like a homeless guy. And they said the thing is, the library didn't let him in there. Nobody saw him. They just didn't see it happen. And that's how a lot of these kinds of attacks occur. So far, there hasn't been anything from a transgender person, but yeah, kids do get bothered, but they get bothered by creeps that no one sees because they're just not paying attention to what's going on around them. But the remedy under SB 3 would be to file a civil rights violation with the Attorney General. And that could take how long? I mean, if a kid's being attacked in a bathroom and you can't call the police, or if the wrong person's in a bathroom.
Well, I would think you would
I
call
guess
the
if a
police
kid's being
over
attacked, yeah.
the attack.
But for having someone in the wrong bathroom under SB 3's provisions, there is no enforcement provision.
You know what's really strikes me? There are really two things. One is, if this passes, I think a lot of lawmakers will find themselves getting questioned in restrooms as they navigate their lives. I just think maybe people will go, hey.
So somebody might walk up to Senator Kolkhorst and say to her,
I need to see your birth certificate.
Yeah.
I volunteer.
Every time she shops
exactly.
and goes out to eat and all those things, that might happen.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It should. It really should.
Speaking of enforcement, this is Pledge Drive, and we are enforcing that. 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. We have some new KNON T-shirts, and we don't have one that's hanging up here, but I saw it, and it's the nicest KNON T-shirt. It's just a nice, clean shirt. It's black print on a gray shirt. It's a great shirt. That's the one I'm getting at this Pledge Drive, because I don't have enough KNON T-shirts.
Right, I don't either.
I know. So that I'm getting that one. It's a generic short sleeve gravel gray T-shirt with a black KNON Voice of the People logo in the front. Comes in sizes small through 5X, so you have no excuse not to get one, Patti.
That's true. My girls need room. So, yeah, I strive for that. I was saying before the pledge drive break that when we play this out, we think about what the enforcement would be like. If you're in a restaurant at Chewy's, or let's say at a school, you're at a school and you go into a women's restroom and someone questions whether or not you should be there or not. So, in order to file a complaint, a civil rights complaint with the Attorney General of the state of Texas, are they going to be asked?
KNON and the city of Grand Prairie are proud to present the evening of Grammy Award-winning blues with the legendary Bobby Rush. Bobby Rush is an international blues artist and 2017 Grammy Award winner. Bobby Rush will be performing at the Uptown Theater, a state-of-the-art venue located at 120 East Main Street in downtown Grand Prairie.
Opening the show will be KNON DJ
And just be aware, if that person follows you into the restroom and is creating a disturbance,
They're the ones breaking the law.
they're breaking the law.
Yeah.
Because, and that's the interesting thing about what the Republicans have been doing. They keep changing their narrative. First it was a safety issue, then it's a privacy issue, and now it's something else. But
They don't care. They just want it passed.
Yeah, they just want it passed.
Because it's about discriminating against, empowering people to discriminate against trans people.
Well, and mostly
statewide.
right now with this particular law, it's going to hurt kids more than anyone else because they're targeting schools and they're targeting kids that are so vulnerable because the transition of a transgender kid in, let's say, elementary school is purely social. It might be if it's a trans girl like Libby, this little girl that I know.
Who's featured on CNN.com
Yeah,
this week.
she is.
Yeah.
So for her, transition is simply being called Libby, using female pronouns, wearing girls' clothes, and growing her hair a little bit more. There's no medical transition associated with that, so she can't get her ID changed or anything like that.
And she doesn't have a concealed gun hand.
No, she does not. So she just goes to school. So she's going to school as a girl. She's accepted by the kids and everyone else as a girl. And if something like this passes, they're going to force her into the boys' room? Are you effing kidding
And
me?
school districts across
What's
this
going to happen to
state,
that kid? Who's in danger?
the school districts across this state, for the most part, have figured out how to navigate all this stuff. And because the bigots, PP Dan and his merry band of misfits, don't like what they're doing, it's now we've got to intercede. It's going to be a state policy, and of course, out the door goes local control.
And that really pisses me off because the scenario that they have to play out to make non-discrimination ordinances moot in this area in order to shut us down from having protections, from cities being allowed to protect their own citizens from awful things like discrimination, is that a cisgender heterosexual man is going to dress up as a woman, pose as a trans person, go in a bathroom, assault somebody, and expect to be covered, somehow protected by the city's non-discrimination ordinance.
Yeah, that's absurd. And the other
It's absolutely, it's never happened. It's never going to happen.
When they come out and they say this isn't about discrimination, again, that is a bald-faced lie, because in the text of the bill, it says a political subdivision, which is like cities or counties or school districts, things like that, DAR, all of that, cannot enact an ordinance to prevent discrimination. It's right there, codified in that law, that a city or a political subdivision cannot enact something to prevent discrimination. They are legalizing discrimination, and they say it's not about it. They're absolutely looking you in the eye and lying to you.
They're lying through their teeth.
And it's time that they be held accountable.
Well, the idea that you can make a law that you can't protect people from discrimination, that has to be unconstitutional.
Wasn't that Colorado's ballot measure 2 that went to the the United States Supreme Court and was struck down?
You know who else that would leave vulnerable? Veterans. I thought they were in favor of veterans. I thought Republicans liked the military. But the veterans aren't specifically listed in the Texas Constitution, so any protections that cities, states, counties...
And do you know what I heard the answer to that was? We'll have to figure that one out.
They
we'll
want
have
to do a carve-out so that they can discriminate against trans people specifically, and yet, protect the veterans. And the city of Dallas has an amazing non-discrimination protection in the city charter, in Chapter 46 from the non-discrimination ordinance. All of those things are wide-ranging, and they include veterans. They include people with disabilities. I mean, there's a lot of people that would be directly affected.
When that law was being written in Dallas, it wasn't, ooh, let's protect the gays. It was, okay, while we're doing this, who needs protection in this city? Let's cover everybody. Let's make this as broad a piece of as broad an ordinance as we can make it. It is Pledge Drive this week. 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Want to thank Larry from Garland for calling in, making a pledge.
Thank you, Larry.
I'd like to thank Leslie from across the table for calling in and making a pledge.
Thank you, Leslie.
It's the first time we've gotten a call from inside the studio.
Hey, we are a full service station. We're
outside.
We pledge. We answer the pledges.
I understand that. 972-647-1893 is the number to call to make a pledge. The amount of money that it takes to run the station, it takes about $63,000 to run the station every month. Reason that it's even that low is basically there are no salaries here other than our station manager. 972-647-1893. Our biggest expense.
They pay you.
Biggest expense is the tower lease. Other than that, we have our office rent, tower equipment and repairs. And you know what? One piece of equipment on the tower they realized is 34 years old. And actually, we bought it used. It's time to replace it. So that's going to cost us over the next year. What were they saying at the pledge meeting, Josh? $10,000, something like that, to replace.
I think it's the
cable
attractor.
The cable going up that goes up the tower to the antenna, which is how the signal gets out. It's kind of important. 972-647-1893.
Just use Wi-Fi. Everyone else is.
Just use
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but you can't use the Wi-Fi till the signal gets to that tower to send it out to the entire world.
That's engineering.
You can just listen on the internet, right? Just listen on the internet. Knon.org.
Now, is Wi-Fi Stiffy's little brother?
No, it's Siffy's little brother, which is that TV station that used to be the Sci-Fi channel. Siffy.
Yeah. Anaconda versus Piranha. That channel.
Right.
Sharknado.
Sharknado.
972-647-1893.
Shakespeare would be so proud.
Aside from being the oldest, longest-running LGBT show anywhere, we're the only one that I can tell that follows the religious programming on the station. Now, I love Rick, sweet as can be, who does the gospel show in the morning, and of course the rabbi. But that is another distinction that we have. And you know why David Chaos does that for us? Because he has a sense of humor.
I wanted to throw in a little plug if I can. There is a play that's happening at the Water Tower Theater in Addison called Up Against the Wall, which is about Stonewall. And then they're doing on Thursday night is a panel discussion afterwards to talk about that, and I get to be on that panel.
I'm going to be on a different panel after that one. The one the week after on the 16th, that Wednesday.
Ours will be better, but yeah.
Clearly.
It should be really good. So come this Thursday.
Yeah, mine will be funnier.
But yeah.
Another thing going on in the community, this Friday night at Cathedral of Hope, there's going to be a 24-hour sing-along or sing-a-thon
from
for trans issues.
That means so much to me when I saw that. It's like, oh, you guys are just wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's so much appreciated.
And so you can stop by any time during that 24-hour. Starts at 6 p.m.
And,
Speakers, singers. Bethel Bana offered
Hopefully they've got
our choir,
microphones
and they said no, thank you.
speakers.
I don't know why, just because we can't sing. And all that, because it is Pledge Drive, 972-647-1893. That's 972-647-1893. Give us a call and help KNON stay on the air, because you don't hear this kind of important information anywhere else.
we've got electric bills to pay. Those things don't pay themselves.
No, they don't.
That's right.
It takes people to pay those bills. We're just wrapping up. Patti, you were saying the agenda seems to be
hurting us.
Yeah, they're going to go after trans people nationwide in the 2018 midterm elections.
Because we've done what
The
now?
Republican Party in this country is going to target, they're already doing it with immigrants, and we knew in 2004 when they were coming after the gay people with a, let's get a constitutional amendment on marriage, that they, you know...
Have you seen their 5-point plan from the Family Research Council?
You usually bring it.
Yeah,
but
well, I've got it memorized. Their 5-point plan, and this is what they're trying to do across the country. This is the Family Research Council, which is based in Washington, D.C. Uber conservatives, that James Dobson and Religious Coalition.
Tony
Perkins. Yeah, they want to deny us the ability to get identity documents corrected. They want to deny us civil rights as far as protections for housing, health care, and medical.
And employment.
Yeah, employment, all of those. They want to deny us the ability to serve in the military, so that one's kind of been checked off the list. Let's see. Public facilities, bathrooms, locker rooms, restrooms. Yeah. So,
Keep you out of public life.
And make sure that no insurance or company or federal government can pay for transgender health care as far as transition-related expenses. But yeah, those are the 5 things on there that basically, if accomplished, would erase us from society.
Which
And
is
they
their
published
ultimate
that.
goals.
Yeah. So
And they're
that's what
proud of
trying to
that.
do.
And we're out of time. 972-647-1893 is the number to call if you'd still like to make a pledge. We'll have, I'm sure, Pledge Drive still next week, unless somebody calls in with a $79,916 pledge.
That could be one of our listeners.
It could be one of our listeners. 79,000. Actually, we've made several hundred, so let's just round it off to $79,467 that
And
we
11
still
cents.
need, and 11 cents. Thank you, Leslie and Katie. You're always welcome here at KNON, where we have a non-gender bathroom, kind of like the kind we have at home.
Kind of like, yeah.
Hey, but they
that
have
we
a
grew up with.
shower in this one.
Yeah, we do have a shower in this one. It's always
Kinda
dripping.
like, it's even more like the one that you have in your house that
And-
everybody uses.
We'll be back with more Lambda Weekly next week. We'll see you then.
Bye.
This is William, hopefully your favorite videographer from Two Hats Publishing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please leave comments below, or like, follow, or subscribe to us and get notices of all our videos. We love it, even when you call.